To the half between Akron and Kent State. Akron is in front of this game 47-37. Let's run down some of the first half stats in this game. Akron shooting 58%, 18 of 31 from the floor, 9 of 18 from three-point range. 9 made three-pointers in that first half for 50%. 2 of 4 at the free throw line for 50%. Kent State, meanwhile, 13 of 29 shooting in that first half for 45%. 8 of 17 from 3 at 47%. They were 3 of 5 at the free throw line for 60%. Neither team went to the line very much in that first half. Slight rebound edge for the Zips, 17-14. Kent State, 9 first half turnovers. That's a little high. Akron with 6 in that first half. Individual numbers in the first half. Akron put 3 in double figures, led by Sharon Young's 14 points on 4 3-pointers in that first half. Shama Scott added 11. He was 4 for 4 from the floor. 10 points out of Tavari Johnson. 6 points apiece for Evan Mahaffey and Eric Mahaffey for Akron to round out the scoring. 5 players scoring in that first half. Kent State was led at the half by Morgan Safford's 10 points, 8 points out of Cyan Medley, 6 points out of Jahari Williamson, 5 points apiece for Delreco Gillespie and Rayvon Griffith. 3 points out of Rob Whaley Jr. to round out the scoring for Kent State in that first half. We saw Whaley go out with the injury there in the first half. Never saw him come back in. Gillespie also got banged up in that first half, but he did re-enter after banging looked like his right shoulder in that first half. Akron leading at 47-37, looking to stay a game behind Miami of Ohio in the MAC as Miami won it on a shot with less than a second to go by Trey Perry to stay undefeated, 69-67. Redhawks defeated Western Michigan. Now 29-0 with 2 games to go. Akron with the win here, as mentioned, stays a game behind Miami. Now, if Kent State would come back and beat Akron here, that would clinch at least a tie of the regular season title in the MAC for Miami of Ohio, but Kent State has a 10-point hill to overcome in this second half. As we are a couple minutes away from starting half number 2. Between Akron and Kent State. Only 2 games going on in the Mid-American Conference. I do have a top 10 matchup going on in Champaign. At the half, number 3 Michigan leads number 10 Illinois, 38-31. I will be back on the live stream with you on Sunday afternoon. Final day of the regular season in the Missouri Valley Conference coming up on Sunday with you at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Regular season finale in the Valley between the Missouri Valley regular season champions Belmont and Illinois State. That wraps up regular season as they get ready for Arch Madness there in St. Louis coming up next week, next Thursday through Sunday. As Belmont's already wrapped up the regular season title, they've gotten themselves into at-large discussion here in the NCAA. Probably still needs a lot of help with that, but they could take all the doubt out of it by winning Arch Madness in St. Louis next week. Of course, conference tournaments are getting underway starting next week, and schedule permitting, I will be on for conference tournament action on the live stream on Monday night. It will be out of the Horizon League. Don't quite know what that matchup's going to be yet, but that'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Work schedule permitting, I hope to be on for the first of the conference tournament action, which will be out of the Horizon League, coming up on Monday. So we are just about ready to start the second half here between Akron and Kent State. 47-37 lead for the Zips. And here we are set to go. Eventually. It'll be Akron ball to open the second half, and here's the inbound. As Tavari Johnson brings it up across the midcourt stripe. Evan Mahaffey. Back out to Tavari Johnson. Johnson with the pull-up. That is short. Pass tipped out, or the rebound tipped out, rather. And Akron with an extra possession. Johnson now on the outside. Johnson fakes the three. Now we'll reset. Now looks to drive. Now we'll take another three-pointer and drill it. Tavari Johnson with a three. That gives him 13 now. And that is the Akron lead, 13, 50-37. Opening possession of the second half for Kent State. And we are going to have a foul. This one's going to go against the Zips to open the second half. Inbound here. That's a nice bounce pass inside. The shot too strong, however, by Gillespie, and it's rebounded by Akron. Outside, and a three-pointer, no good, but we have a foul before the three-point shot. The Kent State's first foul of the second half. I believe they got Morgan Safford on that one. So both teams with a foul here in the second half. We are just over a minute old. Evan Mahaffey. Out to Tavari Johnson. Back to Mahaffey. Mahaffey's shot in the paint comes up a little short. Rebound pulled down by Kent State. Bounce pass. This is Gillespie, gets cut off, and he'll go hard off the glass. Nice defensive play by Akron, but then they proceed to throw the ball out of bounds. And the seventh turnover for the Zips. Looked like some miscommunication there on that. With it is Kent State. And a three-pointer in front of the bench. No good. That went around and out. Rebound pulled down by Akron. Bounce pass underneath. And almost another turnover. But Akron able to keep possession. Get it around here. This is Lyles. Out for a wide open three. That's an air ball, but it's rebounded by Akron and a foul. Lyles was right there underneath the basket for the offensive rebound. Amani Lyles will be at the line for two for Akron. First free throw is good. Second free throw also good. 52-37. And some shirtless, what I assume are Akron students in the stands. Corner three-pointer, no good. Kent State still scoreless here in the second half. We went about 3 minutes to start the game before anybody scored. Alley-oop underneath the basket. Nice save, however. And now a wide open three-pointer is short. Pass tipped out again, though. And the putback around and out. A third try, no good. Akron able to save it. No, they don't. Out of bounds this time to Kent State. Great hustle by the Zips, though, for a second and third crack. Kent State still looking for their first points of the second half. They bring it up across the midcourt stripe. Almost 3 minutes old here in the second half. And a three, that's no good. On the drive, layup, counted, and a foul. Tavari Johnson gets the layup to go and an and one opportunity for Akron. I have no idea how that ball went in. That's a heck of a shot by Tavari Johnson. Timeout called here by Kent State. They're down to one timeout as they had to call back-to-back timeouts at one point in the first half when they couldn't get the ball in. So they take their next to last timeout with 16:55 to go. Akron started off the second half on a 7-0 run. To take a 17-point lead now at 54-37. So Akron starting to get themselves a little bit of breathing room between themselves and Kent State. Akron's hit 10 three-pointers tonight. 10 three-pointers, 10 two-pointers. Meanwhile, Kent State's hit 8 three-pointers, just 5 two-pointers. So 54-37. Chance for a three-point play here for Akron. I know you've got the undefeated Redhawks, but this is a very underrated Mid-American Conference this year. These top three teams, Miami, Akron, and Kent State, all very capable of winning that tournament in Cleveland. And I've watched a lot more MAC this year than I have in years past. And I tell you what, Miami of Ohio and Akron are both NCAA tournament teams to me. Now, Akron would not, obviously, the only way Akron's getting in is to win the tournaments. They would not get in as an at-large, but. So here we go, 55-37, as that free throw was good. Kent State still looking for their first points of the second half, and they still are looking for their first points of the second half as they get another missed three-pointer. And back comes Akron. They have a chance to take a 20-point lead here. Lyles with it. Passes off now to Shama Scott. Over to Sharon Young. Young on inside off the glass. And it's a 10-0 run to open the second half for Akron, and they now lead by 20. 57-37. Bounce pass underneath the basket, and Kent State finally on the board in the second half with the layup underneath. 57-39. Cross-court pass. That was a dangerous pass there. Akron working it around the perimeter. Nice look inside and a dunk underneath for Eric Mahaffey on a great feed. 59-39. Three-pointer on the way. That's good at the top of the key. $59-42. Apologies, I didn't see who that was that made the three. There's another great pass inside, but this time unable to finish is Akron. And Kent State with the rebound. And here comes another three. Back-to-back threes for Kent State. That was Rayvon Griffith with the three. Quick timeout called by Akron as Kent State has scored 6 straight to go on a mini run here to pull within 14. 59-48 Akron. 15 minutes to play here, second half. Date on that Illinois-Michigan game. Top 10 matchup in Champaign. Michigan's now built a 10-point lead on Illinois. 51-41 with 15 and a half to go. Big matchups in the top 25 coming up tomorrow. We got a top 11 matchup at noon Eastern at Cameron Indoor Stadium tomorrow. Number 11, Virginia visiting number 1, Duke. Big matchup in Tucson. Number 2, Arizona hosting number 14, Kansas. Kansas handed Arizona their first loss of the season about 2-3 weeks ago at Allen Fieldhouse. I did the live stream of that game that night, and Arizona looking for a little bit of payback to Kansas. Also have a top 16 matchup in Ames, Iowa tomorrow between number 4 Iowa State and number 16 Texas Tech. That should be a good matchup. Number 17 Alabama in Knoxville to take on number 22 Tennessee. That's at 6 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Number 20 Arkansas in Gainesville to take on the defending national champion and 7th-ranked Florida Gators. That's a late evening start tomorrow at 8:30. And Gonzaga and St. Mary's, a big matchup to round out the night. St. Mary's right on the bubble, as far as NCAA tournament goes. So this win would definitely help matters for the Gales. And a reminder, on Sunday, I will be back on the live stream. Regular season finale in the Missouri Valley between regular season champion Belmont and Illinois State. That's the matchup I've got on the live stream on my YouTube and Kick channels on Sunday. With Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Tournament, taking place next week in St. Louis, my intention is to live stream that entire tournament on my YouTube, or at least on my YouTube channel, and either on my Kick or my Twitch channel. I haven't decided which other one yet, but the tentative plan is to cover the entire Arch Madness tournament here on the live stream. Whether that comes to fruition, we'll see, but that is the tentative plan. Been there several times. The Missouri Valley Tournament is one of the best conference tournaments in the country, one of the best atmospheres. Mid-American Conference is up there too. Cleveland does a great job in the MAC hosting that tournament. Here we go, following the timeout. Cross-court pass. Now with it on the outside. Shot clock down to 5 for Akron here, as Tavari Johnson's going to have to get off a shot here, and does, with the shot clock expiring and missing it. But another offensive rebound for Akron, and the layup no good, but a foul is called. Boy, Kent State had the defensive stop, could not pull down the defensive rebound. Akron all of a sudden now pulling away a little bit on the glass. Got a 28-17 edge on the glass now. Tavari Johnson at the line for 2. First is good. Second free throw on the way for Johnson is around and out. Rebound pulled down by Kent State. 60-45, Akron up 15 as we near the 14-minute mark here in the second half. Medley goes inside against a double team. That's going to be a travel. Delreco Gillespie walks with the basketball. Turnover number 10 for Kent State tonight. Akron brings it up across the midcourt stripe. Tavari Johnson. Johnson on the drive, lost it. Stolen by Kent State. Back the other way they come. Layup off the glass, no. But a foul is called, and 2 free throws will be coming for Rayvon Griffith. Believe they got Tavari Johnson on that foul. And Rayvon Griffith with 11 points tonight, heading to the free throw line for 2. First free throw on the way. No good. One more free throw. That one's no good either. 0 for 2 at the line for Griffith. So it stays 60-45. 13 and a half to play. Shama Scott kicks it off for a wide open three-pointer that's off the front of the rim. No good by Sharon Young. And we have a held ball here as Akron ties up Medley. Kent State will keep it on the possession arrow. Medley thinking he was fouled, having something to say to one of the officials. By the way, this officiating crew tonight, Todd Von Sossen, Tony Meeks, and Michael Griffith. So Kent State keeps possession with the possession arrow. Slight press shown this time by Akron, but Kent State able to break it pretty easily. And on the drive, off the glass, no good, but a foul is called, and Safford went into the basket stanchion pretty hard, and he's down underneath the Kent State basket. We've already seen Del Greco Gillespie get injured earlier in this game for Kent State. He's since returned. Rob Whaley Jr. got injured in the first half. He has not returned, and now Morgan Safford injured underneath, and he is getting up. A little gimpy, however, but he is at least walking under his own power. It's just a hard fall to the floor before going into the basket stanchion. Morgan Safford, the senior out of Columbus, Ohio, trying to walk it off over there on the Kent State bench. So shooting the free throws in replace of Safford will be Desmond Briscoe. First of two, no good. Kent State now just 3 of 8 at the free throw line. Second free throw, no good either. Kent State having a terrible night at the free throw line. And here's Akron with a comfortable 15-point lead. Right, there's a steal as an attempted cross-court pass. Always dangerous, and Kent State able to pick it off with a steal. Turnover number 9 for Akron. The spin inside, bounce pass is, I thought turned over, but it looks like we're going to have an Akron foul. It's on Sharon Young. That is his third. So with 12:34 to go, Young's going to have to go to the bench. Kent State to inbound to Williamson. Williamson draws a double team, wisely knocks it off an Akron player, although they're going to say this is Akron ball. I thought he knocked that off an Akron player. No, he didn't. Actually, he was trying to knock it off an Akron player, and it completely missed him. So a Kent State turnover is their 11th of the game. Here's a three at the other end that is drilled. And that puts the lead back to 18 for Akron. At the other end, Kent State misses a three. Rebound pulled down by the Zips. Scott. Over to Johnson. Johnson finds Evan Mahaffey. Cross-court pass. Here's another three. That is good. In front of the Akron bench. Eric Mahaffey with that three. He becomes the 4th Akron player in double figures. Kent State will answer with a three at the other end to make it 66-48. Shama Scott with it. Scott over into the corner. Long cross-court pass, another dangerous pass. Scott for three, and that is good. Akron's hit 3 threes on their last 3 trips down the floor. Lead back to 21, 69-48. Gillespie inside. That's going to be a charge. Gillespie called for the offensive foul, threw out that arm, and 99% of the time, if you throw that arm out like that, that's going to be a charge every time. Akron in complete control with 11:07 to play, 69-48 over Kent State. Update on that top 10 matchup between Michigan and Illinois. Michigan leading 58-50. Nearly 11.5 to play in that one. Akron's up to 53% shooting. They are 52% from 3. They are 13 of 25 from three-point range tonight. Meanwhile, Kent State's shooting percentage has dropped to 43%. They've hit 11 threes tonight. They're 11 of 24 for 46%. Both teams phenomenal from three-point range tonight. Kent State 11 threes tonight after hitting just 1 in the whole game in the previous meeting against Akron. Big rebound edge, though, for Akron, 31-19. Gotten a lot of offensive rebounds in this game. Again, Akron has 2 regular season games remaining. At Central Michigan on Tuesday and home to Northern Illinois next Friday to wrap up the regular season. Kent State will finish with the game at Northern Illinois on Tuesday and at home against Western Michigan next Friday to wrap up the regular season for them before the MAC tournament gets underway March the 12th in Cleveland. Only the top 8 teams in the standings qualify for the MAC tournament. And as I've said on some previous live streams on conferences that do that, I'm not a real big fan of that, but so following the timeout here, the 11:07 to play, with John Gross, the Akron coach, not happy about something on the sideline. Kent State gets an easy layup off the inbound to make it 69-50. Scott driving, now gets cut off. Now the turnaround jumper from the foul line is good for Shama Scott. He's now got 19. 71-50. Gillespie for Kent State. Cross-court pass and a three-pointer short. Kent State's going to get the offensive rebound and a kick, and a 3 is good by Jahari Williamson. 71-53. Tavari Johnson. Johnson looking to drive. He threw out the arm. That's going to be a charge on Tavari Johnson. That'll be his second. Again, he threw out that arm. And like I said on the previous play, that I have 99% of the time, you're going to get called for a charge if you throw that arm out like that. Even if the defender's not set, you throw out that arm like that, that's more than likely going against you. John Gross, he hasn't been happy since we came out of the timeout, and he's still not happy. Can't tell if he's angry with the officiating crew or angry with one of his players for something, but he's not a happy camper, I know that. Williamson. Pass to Gillespie. Gillespie draws a double team, throws it across the court. Dangerous pass. And a three-pointer is well off the mark, and that will go out of bounds over to Akron. Akron will slowly walk this ball up across the timeline as we're past the midway point here in the second half. Tavari Johnson. Nice pass underneath and the finish. Another great pass underneath the basket as Sharon Young gets the layup. 73-53. Gillespie will drive and lay it in at the other end for Kent State. Delreco Gillespie now has 7. 73-55 Akron. Scott going inside. And the turnaround in the paint, lays it up, count it, and a foul. Amani Lyles gets the basket and the and one for Akron. Foul for Kent State is on Desmond Briscoe, and the three-point play is good. 76-55. This ties Akron's largest lead of the game at 21. Gillespie backs his way in, turns, missed it with the right hand, but it's followed up and in off the miss. Didn't see who that was that followed that up. 76-57. Lyles. Bounce pass inside to Tavari Johnson. And this is going to be an Akron turnover. So Akron turns it over for the 11th time tonight. Bringing it up across the timeline are the Golden Flashes. They're down a bunch here as we near the 8-minute mark. Gillespie, pull-up jumper in the paint is short, and Akron pulls down the rebound as they bring it up across the timeline. Tavari Johnson. Johnson kicks it outside. And now Johnson gets free for a three, and he got it. Tavari Johnson now with 20 tonight. And Akron's got their largest lead of the game at 22, 79-57. Reverse layup, no good at the other end, but a foul is called. Foul's going to go against Sharon Young, and Kent State will have free throws. Following the under 8 timeout, it is all Akron tonight, 79-57 over Kent State. Just under 7.5 to play. Boy, Michigan has pulled away from Illinois in the second half. Michigan's now up 72-54 over Illinois with 7:27 to go. I know Michigan had that loss last week to Duke, but that still looks like the best team in the country to me. Boy, Akron's up to 57% shooting. They have been on fire in the second half. They've hit 14 threes tonight. Teams have combined to make 26 three-point baskets tonight. But Akron has a comfortable 79-57 lead. 7:23 remaining. Akron 7.5 minutes away from win number 24 and running their winning streak in conference play to 14 in a row. So following the timeout here, we will have free throws here for Kent State. How about this stat for Akron tonight? 48 points off the bench. Free throw is good. Shama Scott, 19 points. Sharon Young, 18 points. Eric Mahaffey, 11 points, all off the bench for Akron. 2 free throws are good. 79-59. Zips bring it up across the timeline. Scott kicks it outside. 3-point shot on the way off the front of the rim. No good. Another offensive rebound for Akron. They have been dominant on the glass in the second half. The foul called on Kent State. And that is their 7th team foul, so this will be 1-1. Both teams shooting free throws the rest of the way. Front end of the 1-1 is good. One more free throw coming for Shama Scott. Team leader tonight for Akron with 20 points off the bench. Second is around and in. Sharon Young returns to the lineup for Akron. $81.59. Williamson with it. Williamson now off to Gillespie. And the pull-up for a long two is well short, but an offensive rebound for Kent State. That's Gillespie with the offensive rebound, but a rejection. A third crack at it. That's no good, and Akron finally comes down with the rebound. Akron slowing it down now as we near 6 minutes. Bounce pass inside. Shot in the paint, up and good by Evan Mahaffey. Largest lead of the night for the Zips, 83-59, and Kent State turns it over on the ensuing possession. Tafari Johnson, bad pass there. Stolen away by Kent State. Layup up, blocked again. Are they going to get a goaltend here or a foul? Not sure if they got a goaltend or a foul there. Got a goaltend, it looks like. Although looking at that replay, that looked like a pretty good block. .539 to go. It's 83-61. This is a coach's challenge by John Gross. He's challenging that goaltend call. And looking at that replay, like I said, that looked like it was a pretty good block. So this one may get overturned. No, another look at it here on the replay, and yeah, that looks like a good block to me. That does not look like it's coming down yet. Looks like the call will stand as a goaltend, though. So it's 83-61. With 5:20 to go, that call more than likely probably is not going to, realistically, is not going to have any bearing on the game's outcome. High arcer off the glass here, no good. Rebound for Kent State. Drive, bounce, pass, and shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Akron. It's Quinn Widke, it looked like, that put up that shot for Kent State. Akron going to be very, very patient on offense with a comfortable lead. Johnson off the glass, no, but he got fouled, and he will head to the line for two for Tafari Johnson. First free throw by Johnson is good. Kevin Mahaffey returns for Akron into the lineup, and Desmond Briscoe checks back in for Kent State. Second one also good. 85-61. 4.5 left. A three-pointer on the way. That is too strong. Rebound to the Golden Flashes off the offensive glass. Good to see Rob Whaley Jr. back in the game. He had that injury in the first half. There's a turnover, however, for Kent State. And now we have a foul, and now some words being exchanged after the foul. Shama Scott back to the line again. One and one here. First is good. Second is also good. Kent State will bring it up across the timeline. 4 minutes to go. Three-pointer on the way. That's too strong. Rebound pulled down by Tavari Johnson. And a stoppage and a whistle, which will bring us to the under 4. 3:58 remaining. Akron about to get win number 24 and conference win number 15. They're up big in this game over Kent State. It's an Akron team that averages almost 90 points a game. Looks like they're going to get there. Boy, Michigan is now just walloping Illinois 77-59. So Michigan about to get a big win at Illinois. They pulled away in the second half in that one. 3:27 remaining. So I said earlier, Michigan to me looks like the best team in the country right now. Yes, they lost to Duke last week, but I've seen them 3 or 4 times this year, and they just look like a complete team and look like the team to beat to me right now. Akron tonight has put 4 in double figures, led by Shama Scott's 23 points off the bench. 22 out of Tavari Johnson, 18 out of Sharon Young, 11 for Eric Mahaffey. 52 points off the bench tonight for Akron. Kent State's put 3 in double figures. Morgan Safford leading the way with 15. Rayvon Griffith with 13 off the bench. Cyan Medley with 10. And it looks like Scott is going to get the rest of the night off as he takes a seat on the bench, and a well-deserved for Shama Scott. Akron at the line here. First is up and good from Sharon Young. Short on the second. Rebound to Kent State. Inside with the left hand, shot up and good by Rob Whaley. 88-63. Bounce pass in the paint. Jumper up and good by Evan Mahaffey. And Akron has hit 90. And underneath and laying it in is Whaley again. Under 3 to go. Akron about to get overall win number 24 and win number 15 in the MAC. And a monster dunk. There's an exclamation point in this one for Evan Mahaffey. 5 now in double figures tonight for Akron with the back-to-back baskets by Mahaffey. Whaley. Tough pass into the corner. Three-pointer is good in front of the Kent State bench. 92-68. Final 2 minutes. Shot clock at 10. No reason to be in a hurry here if you're Akron. Shot clock at 3. We have to put up an open 3 in the corner at the shot clock buzzer. Shot hit the side of the backboard, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Folks, the end of this game, probably going to sign off the live stream pretty quick. We'll run down the final stats and get you ready for my next live stream on Sunday. Belmont and Illinois State out of the Missouri Valley. Like John Groves clearing some of his bench here. We look like we are on a collision course in the MAC tournament for an Akron-Miami championship game. That's going to be a goaltend on Akron. And if that is indeed the case, what a fun one that's going to be. Well, I said Shama Scott was going to get the rest of the night off on the bench, but here he is, bringing the ball up the floor. Just dribbling the ball. With 1:10 to go. Now Scott will drive. He'll pull up for a long 2 and miss it short. Rebound tipped out to the Golden Flashes. Final minute. And there's a bad pass, but knocked out of bounds by Akron. It will stay with Kent State. 55.3 on the clock. Comes Connor Gross into the game for Akron. Rich Briscoe, Onion Stankovic. So Coach Gross going deep into his bench. And Kent State turns it over. Bounce pass there is taken away by Kent State. Pull up three, top of the key, no. Rebound to Akron, and they can just dribble this out. Shot clock is off. And Akron is just going to dribble out the remaining 15 seconds. Two coaches shake hands at midcourt. John Gross's Akron Zips win their 14th in a row in conference play and 14th win in their last 15 games as they win this one in a blowout, 92-70 over Kent State, the final score. Akron now moves to 24-5 overall, 15-1 in the MAC. They stay a game behind Miami of Ohio. Kent State falls to 21-8 overall, 12-4 in conference play. Kent State still more than likely going to wrap up the 3 seed in the MAC. Let's run down the final stats in this one before I sign off for the night. Akron ends up shooting 55% from the floor on 32 of 58 shooting. They were 14 of 28, just outstanding from three-point range at 50%. 14 of 18 at the free throw line for 78%. For Kent State, boy, did they cool off in the second half. They ended up shooting 26 of 60 for 43%, 13 of 32 from three at 41%, just 5 of 11 at the free throw line tonight for 45%. Rebound edge for Akron at 38-27. Both teams turned it over 14 times. Individual scoring, Akron put 5 in double figures tonight, led by Shama Scott's 23 off the bench. 22 out of Tavari Johnson. 18 points off the bench out of Sharon Young. 13 out of Evan Mahaffey and 11 out of Eric Mahaffey. That's the 5 in double figures tonight for Akron. Other scoring. There's actually only one other player that scored tonight, and that was Amani Lyles with 5 points. For Kent State tonight, they put 3 in double figures, led by Morgan Safford's 15 points. Rayvon Griffith added 13. Cyan Medley had 10. 9 points apiece from Rob Whaley Jr. and Jahari Williamson. It was good to see Whaley get back in there after that scary injury in the first half. 7 points out of Delreco Gillespie. He also got injured but returned to the game. 3 points out of Quinn Whitkey and 2 apiece from Desmond Briscoe and Omer Hamama. Round out the scoring tonight for Kent State as Akron wins it 92-70. Again, Akron now 24-5 overall, 15-1 in the MAC. Kent State falls to 21-8 overall and 12-4 in the MAC. That's going to wrap it up for me here tonight. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John on YouTube. If you like my content, really would appreciate a like and subscribe from you. Also on Kick tonight at Sports Kick John. You can follow me there. You can also follow me on Twitch at Sport Guru John. Do have some content there, and we'll be posting some new content there coming up in the very near future. Again, one more reminder, back with you on Sunday on the live stream, regular season finale in the Missouri Valley Conference. Between the MVC regular season champion Belmont Bruins, they will be in Normal, Illinois to take on the Redbirds of Illinois State. That is a 5 o'clock Eastern time. Tip-off will be on with you 5 to 7 minutes before that. Get you ready for Belmont and Illinois State to wrap up the regular season in the Missouri Valley. Appreciate you all joining me tonight as Akron wins at 92-70 over Kent State. And again, the brought you the end of Miami of Ohio's thrilling win over Western Michigan to stay undefeated, 69-67. Miami of Ohio and Akron still separated by 1 game in the MAC standings. Appreciate you joining me, everyone, and hopefully we'll see you on Sunday for Belmont and Illinois State, my next live stream. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless.